it's very easy to get caught up in all the things that one has to do, all the things that need to be shipped, all the users that need to go live, and to, in the process of doing that, not keep in mind all the people that are working so hard on making it happen. But every once in a while, I like to isolate myself from various information distractions in a kind of like deep work sense. And one of the things that I find most helpful is to think about what I am grateful for, and to think back on my life and the things that I've worked on and what I'm going to do and what it is that I'm grateful for. Because I find that being grateful is very important for how someone lives their life, for not only appreciating what they have, but for seeing reality for what it really is. And it's very important to see reality, in my opinion, not to turn away from it and to see what it really is. And when I do these kind of little thought periods where I abstract myself away from some of the day-to-day problems, and I try to do some deep work in planning, and I get to the gratitude part of this, I am consistently really touched and grateful for how many people share my views and our views on how the world should work in a decentralized, reliable way. Initially, this is actually why I joined the crypto industry, because I would go to meetups, and there were only Bitcoin meetups when I joined, and some small Bitcoin conferences in like really weird venues and basements. It was like really low budget, and that was fine. I liked it actually. And I met a lot of libertarian people, huge amount of libertarian kind of people. And it really attracted me to this industry, that there was this group of people that I shared a worldview with, that everyone can have choice and control and information and informed decisions on everything from their financial life to voting to anything. And as time has gone on, I'm actually very grateful that there is now a subset of the crypto industry that I have the opportunity to work on with people who not only share that very general view, but share a more specific view, which is kind of the Chainlink ecosystem, Chainlink community view of how we can actually get there. So I think whenever I think about this question of what I'm grateful for, I'm always very grateful to be working with a community of people that want to see the world evolve and change in the way that I find important and useful, and something that I and they can be proud of. And to have a group of people like that, where you together want to see something change and together are working towards that, is not that common a thing, in my opinion. And I think it's something that I really value. So I think the first thing that I would say is, I'm very busy on trying to deliver on various ideas. And so I do not spend a lot of time communicating with a lot of people, because I don't believe that those communications are what is the most value-added thing for me to be doing for these shared goals of ours. But I'd like to take these opportunities to just make clear to people that even though my frequency of communicating this is not high, I feel that the intensity with which I feel it is probably pretty high relative to other people, because I have gone through life, much of my life, working on things that didn't matter, and much of that work was ignored and considered useless or wrong. Even in the Bitcoin, it was called the Bitcoin industry when I joined it. I spent at least 5 years since 2010 hearing how it was all a scam and how it was all horrible, and I really didn't care. I really didn't care, because I thought I knew the truth, and the truth is now becoming more clear to others. So I thought I saw reality, and that's good. And I think I was right about many of those points on reality, which people that disagreed with me before now admit. So seems at least we now have this shared reality. And then I had people around me, even in those early days, that had the same worldview. And I think that's very important. And I'm very grateful to everybody who's supportive of us, whether they're technical or non-technical. I think there are technical people that support us by contributing code, by contributing ideas, by giving us feedback as users of the protocol. I'm very grateful to them because they're making a big contribution to building this different verifiable web, deterministic society, decentralized computing, smart contract world. I'm also very grateful to all the people that aren't technical, that provide various other types of support to the system, that participate in its security in various ways, that educate people, help us make events to inform various groups, build a bigger community. And I look back at this sometimes, you know, I kind of come up from these periods of work and I look at it and I'm like, man, how many people are involved? How many meetups did we have? How many kind of developer events did we do? And I'm always really impressed, and I'm always very grateful that there are people who are willing to contribute their time and effort, not only to the general idea of the crypto industry, but the version of the idea that I'm working on together with them. So I think the thing that I would say is I'm very, very grateful to all of these people for even the smallest contribution that they've done. And it's just important to me that my lack of communication doesn't get misinterpreted for a lack of gratitude. The thing that I would say in this vein is that if you find our body of work important, I encourage you to find a way to contribute to it in a productive way that creates a net benefit for the system. And I think that various groups, technical or non-technical, have various ways that they can contribute to the system. And I know that sometimes it's hard because, you know, it's not clear how the world's going to evolve. And sometimes things take a little longer to build securely. And sometimes adoption or the growth of the overall crypto industry isn't high. But that is what people need to overcome in order to be part of something big. That's it. There isn't a single historical example that I can find where everything was just going great every single day. That doesn't exist. The only way it works, from what I can tell of my study of all kinds of history, technical history, political history, all kinds of history, is you have a worldview, you have a technology, or you have a plan that's based on a worldview of how the world will evolve, and you continually put your effort and your thought and your time into that technology, into that worldview, into that plan, and you make a commitment to do that, and you do it. And then if you're right, over an extended period of time, it works out because your plan connected back to reality. The incremental positive or negative dynamics that happen on a weekly or a monthly or even a biannual basis, to me, do not matter so much, because the fundamental truth of a verifiable web, a deterministic society, cryptographically guaranteed relationships is all there. It doesn't matter to me if I'm in 2010 or 2011 and everyone's trying to tell me how Bitcoin is never going to grow, it's going to get regulated out of existence, or if we're in 2024 and someone still doesn't believe that some Oracle network compute model is the more scalable, efficient way to do things. I know it's the more scale. I know in my mind what the right answer is, and what's really helpful to people like me is other people that can see the truth of that situation and be part of it in a productive way, in a productive, value-added way, where they consistently, through the ups, through the downs, do what is needed to overcome challenges and arrive at a successful state of affairs. So I'm very grateful, once again, to everybody who has contributed to our success, to the people that have stayed up late with me, to the people that have worked very hard in our community, to all the developer advocates, to all the developers that have contributed, to all the community members running meetups, to everybody. I'm extremely grateful. I'm actually sometimes overwhelmed by the gratefulness that I have to these people. And still surprised that I'm so lucky to have so many people interested in what I'm working on.